Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, Team Lines of Poetry Collection, and Fighting God Anime Devotional for OTAKUS, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Happy Wednesday, my friends! I'm so excited that you're here. We have another week of prompts for Top 5 Wednesday, and I am super duper pumped to be talking about those books today and just doing all of the fun things with this prompt. But in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday is, Top 5 Wednesday was formed by Lainey back in 2013. The group is now since on Goodreads, and I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to check that out as well. Our current host, Alex, she creates a series of prompts for Wednesday, and on Wednesday we choose 5 books, or in this case manga, to fit that said prompt. Today's prompt is back to school. Alex talked about how a lot of schools are already back in session, which is so true. I think my kids have been in school for at least 2-3 weeks now, and so this prompt is just really open to interpretation. It could be books that you read for school, things that make you think of school, just whatever it is involving going back to school. I think most of the manga that I chose for today's prompt involved going to school, and interestingly enough, all of these are shoujo titles. I didn't do that purposely. In fact, I didn't even look at my already made list before doing today's prompt because I was like, we're just gonna do whatever comes to mind. So let's go ahead and dive into, I guess, my top 5 manga of what I just think of when it is time to go back to school. For number 1, I of course had to mention this manga, and that is High School Debut. I love this manga. I got this series from Maeve at Maeve Ever Reading, and it is just one of my favorites. It has that sports overtone, has an epic romance, really great characters, and our main girl here is just almost a rival to Hinata with her sunshine. I love her personality, and the part with going back to school is very interesting because she decides to sort of redo her whole, not personality, but her whole look, and is determined to get her first boyfriend, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get him. That is where our hero right here, Yo, comes into play, and he teaches Haruna a few things about finding a boyfriend, dating, and just all of the in-between. I absolutely love their friendship / relationship. It is just so good. I felt like this is a manga that I wish I had when I was in high school because it has such great things. Like, Yo really honestly gives some really great advice when it comes to dating. I have like a full review on it right here if you'd like to go check it out. I love this manga, and I especially highly recommend it, and it is definitely a great one to just get all those school vibes. For number 2, it's sort of a relatively new release, and that is Skip and Loafer. I really enjoyed this manga a lot. Our main girl here, Mitsumi, I believe is her name, is so much fun. She has moved to Tokyo. She's a country girl experiencing the life in the city for the very first time, and I just loved it. I love the comparison of how things were when she was at a country school, the friends that she had, the people she knew, and then now that she's in Tokyo and the new friends that she's making and experiencing just the city life. I can't say that I've really lived in this city, like I have when I was a lot younger, but I'm definitely a city girl, even though I sort of live in like the country, but not really the suburban, I think is what it's called. But I love this. This would definitely be, for sure, just like High School Debut, in my top 5 manga of just what makes me think of back to school and just all the school vibes. It's so much fun. Our main girl here, she gets to make new friends. It's just such a fun journey to be with her and be on. I also have a video review of this one, and I'm really excited because if you guys follow Marg and Marg Reads Manga for her manga club Treat Yourself, that this is one of the titles that we will be reading or are reading this month, and I was so excited that it was chosen because it's such a great slice of life, down to earth, throw in some humor and friendship, and you just have just the making of a really great manga. For number 3, I also had to mention this one because I got it from the library, and my review is going to be going up next week, and that is Strobe Edge. Oh my goodness, I love Ninako. I love this series, and I was super bummed to see that the other day on Macari, I missed it by one day, that somebody was selling almost the whole series for $40. I was like, that is such a steal. That is such a steal. I definitely want to collect this. It has just a great school setting, and almost all of it takes place at school. So if you're like, I want a romance that's happening at school, boom, Strobe Edge has your back. I loved it so very much. I'm so excited to gush about this manga. It has all of the feels. I see why this mangaka is sort of considered the queen of shoujo. I get it. I really do. She can bring out all the feels. So I wanted to mention this one because it's just one that I really want to collect, and it's just a very, very sweet story. The art is incredible. It's very beautiful, and it's just a great romance. It really is, and experiencing the first time of first time of love, and just the adventure and the joy that brings. It's so very, very good. I highly recommend this one too. For number 4, I'm bringing in a classic, and that is Kamini Todake From Me to You. I genuinely feel like this is a classic shoujo manga. It is so very good, and if you have not read it, I highly, highly, highly suggest checking it out. It is amazing. Kudos to the Manga Sloth for just recommending this to me and encouraging me to pick it up, because it is a phenomenal story. I mean, you're with Sawako from the time she starts high school to all the way up to her graduating and going to college. I love this manga. Yes, there is sometimes drama, but the friendships are spot on. Even the things that happen that bring on the drama have a purpose, have a meaning, and just, I love these characters so much. I did a reread of some of the volumes in this manga, 100% worth it. I'm like, I need to sit down and actually reread through the whole thing. Sorry guys, that is my daughter trying to do a cameo in today's video. But yes, if you have not read this, it is a must. Like, it just has all of the school vibes. I love it so very much. I also have a review of this one if you'd like to check it out. It is just, there's so many great things you could say about Sawako and Kazehaya, just their relationship, but their friendship, and how everybody just grows. Like, this is so much more than a romance. I love this story. For number 5, I think I'm pretty sure that I'm going to say this one, and that is That Wolf Boy Is Mine. I have not talked about this in a while, but I was shocked how much this manga just really stole my heart. I love the first volume. I did not expect to. This is when I discovered, what's her name, Yoko Nogiri. This is the first time I really discovered her, and she is definitely one of my favorite mangaka. Like, you could check out any of her manga and it hits all of the perfect school vibes, and this is a really good one for going back to school, because Komugi is at a new school now, and that's where she meets our main guy, Yu, which there's some interesting stuff with them. Not going to say anything because spoilers, but again, I have a video review of this one too. It is great. I really wish that it was a little bit longer, because that final bonus chapter, I don't recommend reading it. Just read the final chapter and stop there and then come back later to read the bonus chapter, because it will make you want more. But the romance and Komugi, not even the romance, I love the romance for sure, but Komugi is a very sweet and precious character. I love how the manga just writes her main characters, because I find them very relatable. They're very compassionate and understanding. They're kind. They're definitely some of my favorite main characters in shoujo manga, hands down. And I think it's just because, like I said, I find them very relatable. I love the qualities that they have. And this one is a fun, more of a quote-unquote magical back to school kind of manga, because you have Yu, who is sort of like a shapeshifter, but not really. And that's all I'll say about that. But this is another great one, and it's a really short series, only 4 volumes, and the covers are all really nice, and it's just a great, great story, and I love this one. It's time for me to do a reread of this one, especially with school back in session. And I guess, my friends, I will wrap it up there. Those are my 5 top manga for back to school, with all of the school vibes, school romance, just all of it. It's all so very, very good. But what are some manga that you would recommend that have those back to school vibes, or that you're like, I love reading this when it's about back to school time? Or have you read any of these? What were some of your favorite titles that were mentioned today? I would love to hear from you, friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!